So, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Today, man.
Yeah.
We got to lead worship this morning together.
Did.
That was special.
It was super fun.
Your name's David Willis.
It is David Willis.
Right out the gate, how can people find you?
You can find me at David Willis Co. on all social media platforms at David Willis Co. or www.davidwillis.co.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, website.
Yep.
You do music. You've been on the channel before. We've talked about it. I'll try to link it below. They can go watch that video.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah.
It was not in person.
It wasn't. You're the first person to be in person.
I feel like we needed something to drop down.
I know. Final cut.
Video effects right now.
Right now. Camera shake.
Yeah, Shrek dancing in the middle right here.
That's right. Yes. Well, welcome to the studio.
Yeah.
We're in here.
This is awesome.
I'm hoping it works out. I haven't done my studio tour yet, video, but
You guys, you're
it's
gonna
coming.
be impressed for sure.
It's coming
super
soon.
awesome.
Yeah. So we were talking late
Yeah.
last night
Yes.
at the restaurant. And I didn't sleep last night. We talked about that.
Yeah, I crashed, but
Did you?
but it was only for like a couple hours. So
We
my-
both had Dr. Pepper. It affected me differently.
Yeah, I don't get affected by anything like that anymore. In fact, I just drank a Red Bull, and I'm pretty sure it's going to do absolutely nothing. To
Nothing.
me.
We've been yawning. You've been yawning more
I've
than
been
me, but
yawning.
it's been so. If this seems like a little boring, we're actually going to talk about how to not be on camera here in a second. But
Yeah.
anyways, we wanted to start this conversation. I'm a worship leader. I have this channel. You
Yep.
guys are here.
Yep.
Some of you might be in the creative YouTube world space for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Many worship leaders write music. They write music
Yes.
for their churches, as they should.
Right.
As we discussed, I haven't been in that world much, but
Sure.
I want to be, and so I'm just trying to gain wisdom.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of good conversations, and so I want to share that with the fam. And so I think the biggest question, I want to start big, and then
Okay.
we'll kind of get real granular. So
Yeah.
you guys stay for the whole
Stay.
video, because
Yeah.
it's all going to get really good. But the first thing we have to talk about is the tension between, for us worship leaders, the tension between self-promotion in this worship world.
Sure.
A lot of people in the comments, even in this video,
Oh, yeah.
maybe will be like,
Yeah.
you should have everything for free, and you're benefiting off the gospel in a wrong way, and
Right.
that's not right. There is a wrong way to do it. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so like this is sort of applicable whether you're a business or you are even a worship leader or artist, and even like if you're a church, right? Like somehow these rules don't necessarily apply to churches, right? Like we hold
Right.
individuals to this standard, or maybe even ourselves to this standard, but we often don't hold churches or organizations to the standard that self-promotion is like seen as this really evil thing. And on the surface, yeah, like you don't want to be promoting yourself in a way that is narcissistic or out to be greedy and those kind of things. But at the same time, like promotion in of itself is a necessary part of any equation to releasing a product, releasing a song, releasing a piece of art. Like how else are people supposed to know about it unless you tell them about it? How else are people supposed to know about the gospel unless you tell them about it? And so like communication and marketing are some of the most fundamental things of business, of art, of church, and so like, yeah, you could be in this place where you feel like, man, I don't want to get started on all this stuff. I don't even want to do any of this stuff because I could come across as being narcissistic or self-promoting and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately it's like, we see people out in the world doing this on a regular basis, and what are they doing? They're shaping culture through their Instagram posts, through what they're posting online, through their videos. And yes, it's self-promotion in a negative way because they're drawing attention to themselves, but the way we kind of sidestep a lot of this tension is realizing, hey, if our motives are behind, hey, we're going to promote the gospel through our message, we're going to promote Jesus through our songs, we're going to promote worship, then what we're doing is we're calling people to rally behind a vision, a goal, a purpose that's bigger than just ourselves. Like the gospel will live on after I'm dead and gone.
Yeah.
Hopefully my songs will live on and encourage and inspire people long after I'm gone. And so the goal is to say, hey, even though I might be the face, I might be someone you interact with, I might be the person who's on the video every time, my goal in promoting stuff on social media, releasing things in advertising or marketing is to rally people behind an idea, a goal that is bigger than myself. Specifically with music, we talk about this specifically, is, the songs that I'm writing, I want to write for corporate worship. But even if I was writing songs that were artistic in nature, more designed for just like the radio or someone just to listen but maybe not be sung in churches, it's like that can still be promoting the gospel through the message, but I have to get the message out there somehow.
Yeah.
You know, we take time to go to the studio, we take time to record something really well, we take time to master it. You know, all of those are instances of promotion on some level because you're doing it at a certain quality or else you wouldn't be releasing it. And so by releasing it, you're in essence self-promoting it. But, you know, we stop short sometimes of social media because we don't want to appear as someone who's narcissistic or self-promoting. But when you boil that down to sort of its basic level, what you're really saying is, I don't want people to think of me that way.
Right.
And ultimately you're saying, I just really care about what other people think about me, versus saying, I know what I ought to do is spread this message, to put this out there, to, you know, promote my newest song, or maybe your business, your newest product, and that kind of stuff. But if I'm scared of what other people will think about me, then that's the problem, not whether or not you should promote this. Yeah. And so that's what I usually find is like, that's usually where people go. But sidestepping that just for a second, back to what I was saying a minute ago, the rallying people behind an idea is really, really important. The idea of what the song represents, the idea of what your product might deliver to somebody, like what the idea of what your business services might provide for somebody. It's an idea, and you might be the face of that idea, but it really helps sidestep self-promotion as being this negative thing.
Yeah. And I mean, just being transparent.
Yeah.
Transparent. Say that funny. Yeah, speaking on camera, I was going to say, like, jump in, and we'll get to that in a minute, but starting Hey Worship Leader, I battled this. Like, I don't write music, but I was like, I have a passion to help worship leaders. If you're new here, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And I want to pour into them any way I can. Yeah. And so, but at the same time, this is my side job. We're a one-income family. Sure. I have to make income, and I would love to do it with what I'm gifted at, and the gift God's given me in the local church. And so my heart is to pour into worship leaders to serve and pastor the local church. I think that's our biggest need right now. And so I want to support that. I want to do everything I can. And but there was all those little thoughts, not even comments at the time because I didn't have a YouTube channel yet, but all those thoughts of like, oh, what are people going to think of me? Everything you were just saying, like, oh, people are going to think I'm narcissistic, or I'm just trying to be in front of a camera. I mean, I did have someone, because I was talking about social media in like Instagram. We'll get to that. I was like, and I still say it, like, I'm so bad at Instagram, and like, someone in my small group, it doesn't even go to my church anymore, was like, yeah, but you're still pointing the camera at your face. Almost, it was like, you don't have to do this. Like, just, it was like a stab. I don't even remember the comment, and I was like, oh, that's not the heart behind it. Like, it's not that I want to be in front of the camera. It's, I actually hate the camera. I'll say the first story. I've said it on here. Like, I got all this gear that when I first was starting, and I went and pushed record. I mean, I had planned all this stuff. Yeah. And I pushed record. I had never been on camera. Yeah. And I froze, and I was like, I started talking. So, oh God, I started sweating. I was like, this is horrible. And I finally got through, like, I probably recorded a 5-minute video, and it took 4 hours, and I brought it home to my wife, and she was like, who is this? And I was like, I don't know, Katie, this is hard. I might have to just give up before I even start. So there's enough pressure. We just need to talk about, like, there's not a problem with having to being a creator. And like you said, people need to know. I mean, whether you're a business or creator, like, you create something, what good is it unless it's just for you and God? But like, if people are going to enjoy this and it's going to encourage and edify them, they have to know about it.
And even speaking from the business aspect for a second, like, you know, I know that like you said something about, you know, paying or selling stuff like that will help other people, but it does provide you with an income and those sorts of things. People get tripped up over that. But I was reading in Proverbs the other day, I think it's Proverbs 10, talked about he who hoards the grain is wicked, but then I'm paraphrasing this, but then he who, specifically it says as he who sells the grain is a blessing to others. And it's specifically that terminology of actually selling the grain. And it was actually a picture of Joseph taking the grain and having it ready for the famine and selling it. He sold it to the people of Egypt. He sold it to the people of Israel, Canaan that came in. And so you had this thought of like, well, hey, it's a famine, dude. Like, you should give that away, right? And like, but if he gave it away, then all of the money he had invested in saving that grain, buying up the land, doing all the things he needed to do, wouldn't have been returned to him. He wouldn't have been able to do some of the things he personally felt called to do. You know, I'm giving a picture of this. Like, you know, when income comes back into you after you've blessed somebody else, it allows you to continue blessing other people. It's like as a business owner, it's like if I do everything for free, suddenly I'm going to be out of a job because I need money to survive, and then if I'm out of the job, you don't get the services that you needed.
Right.
And so if everyone did that, we're running into lots of problems.
Yeah.
But even on the worship music and releasing music in general, it's like this idea that, hey, you did all this, it should be a gift to people. And some people have convictions about that, and that's totally fine. Like a lot of my music I'll give away as an option, but I still receive royalties and things like that come in, and I use that to continue doing what I'm doing. Like that helps me. And even when we do we have donors who help us do different things in the church or whatever, that helps us continue the mission of what we're called to do. And so that it kind of sidesteps the whole question of like, you're just doing this to promote yourself, or you're just doing this to benefit yourself. It's like, are there abuses to that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're furthering a mission, you're furthering your cause. This is why vision is so important. This is why purpose. And why are you making social media content? Why are you making YouTube content? Like you just said it, like, hey, my channel is about helping worship leaders.
Yeah.
In multiple facets. From here's how you don't have to program your guitar anymore because like I'll take care of that for you. Here's how you plan a set list, and here's how you do all this because I'll take care of that for you. Mm-hmm. Here's how you figure out how to be on social media when you do come time to release your music. Here's how you help, we're gonna help you write songs, that kind of stuff. And but then all of a sudden, if you never receive an income from any of that kind of stuff, well, suddenly you're gonna have to say, hey man, I would do that, but I don't have time to do that.
Right.
And so now that need goes unmet because you're focused on trying to make some money for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think my mind goes to, and you briefly mentioned it, it's like there are a lot of examples of people abusing the money faith relationship where they connect, you better get this.
Yeah.
Because God will be pleased when you buy this product, or mesh, or whether it's product or televangelist, and they connect your relationship with God with the, I'll say product, because that's what it is. Sowing a seed faith. You give $1,000 today, you're gonna have a blessing. That's where it's dangerous, and that's not what we are. We need more creators who think about it appropriately, who infiltrate the market, doing it correctly, who give it all back to God, but are making a living. They're artists, and there's people out there doing it right. There are people, and so we want to encourage you guys to like. If that's your first step of like, I'm a creator, but I'm just hung up on this part, help me. Yeah. That's what we want you to feel encouraged.
Yeah, because a lot of that's rooted in the fear of like what other people will think about me. But ultimately, it's like this. It's not about you. Like what you put out, even when you put out your products for your business, like you're helping other people, right? Like no matter really what that business is, like as a Christian in the marketplace, like there is still a commission beyond what your current goal is in business or whatever. And so ultimately, like you're going after this goal, so you're rallying people to that calling, to that mission, to that vision, like specifically for you. Like I said, like you're rallying people behind, hey look, we're gonna go help worship leaders. Yeah. And so every purchase you make for one of these
presets in the EXPANSE pack, or the tone match presets,
and the Princeton one, which I heard this morning.
It's not even released yet, but yes.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean, sneak peek. Yeah, I played it this morning. It was amazing.
It sounded really good, and I thought you had an amp in the back actually. Yeah. So that was really cool. But every time that happens, it just furthers the mission. So you're rallying people to a cause. Same thing with your music. It's like you're rallying people to music, and so. Getting beyond that, you have to realize that other people are doing that on social media in the world. Like some of these A-list celebrities and superstars and all these like reality TV personalities, like they hop on there and they're like got this Gucci bag or whatever, and all of a sudden like people are buying those Gucci bags left and right because that person influenced them to do it. Yeah. What if you had the same platform, maybe not to that extent, but you had a platform where you could influence people to spread the gospel, like, or have a good message of positivity in the midst of all the stuff that's going on, where you invite people into the joy of the Lord. You invite people into living righteously before Him. Like, this could really change a lot of stuff. And so that's part of like why don't we have more Christians in this space?
It's so needed. It's so needed.
Especially on like places like TikTok. Yeah. TikTok I get people all the time, hey, I really would like to be on TikTok, but it's just such such a godless place. And I'm like, yes, because you're not on TikTok. Like, you're not on there, so it's going to be like that until you get on there and you start producing good quality content that people can consume and not feel guilty about what they're consuming. And also it's an algorithm, so you can train it what you want to see and what you don't want to see. Like all of my stuff now, it's video editing tips. Corey Asbury making jokes like in the field or like in a toy store or something like that. It's think media stuff, and it's pro church tools and all that kind of stuff. So it's like I trained it to show me like a handful of things. And it's great. And now, but here's one of the punchlines that I use a lot is, you need to shift your attention from being a consumer of social media to a creator of social media. Because what that really changes in your mindset is, instead of just mindlessly consuming a lot of this stuff, what I'm doing is I'm actually contributing to the overall conversation that will gear society in a certain way. And I get it. Like I'm not going to change the world by myself. Like, and I'm not even sure that like changing the world is even feasible. But I think like if we all collectively as Christians begin to think like, hey, our social media platform is something that we can influence with the gospel, we could provide people with an opportunity to respond to that. And so instead of just being consumers, what if we became creators in that space? Contributors in that space, and especially as worship leaders, as artists, creative people. I mean, people watch creative people. They watch people draw like Disney animations for like 30 minutes on a live stream. What if you were, writing out like these beautiful song lyrics to like old hymns or something like that? There's all kinds of different things that you can do that will draw people's attention to the Lord. Anyways, we're kind of getting off track, but that's what great. I was thinking of.
I think that's great. And so let's. You're good. Now, how do you do it?
Yeah, you have permission.
You have permission. Yeah. How do you do it? And I wanted to ask first, like I like to watch people. That's how I get ideas. That's the only way I learned how to do any of this. I didn't go to school for this, obviously. So who's doing it well right now that in the space?
Specifically, like some guys like on Think Media are doing a really, really good job of combining a message of faith and positivity. And I link those two together because there is this sort of like negativity and or maybe false positivity meets like weird corrupt business world type of stuff that happens in a lot of this space. But like guys like Think Media like really do have like faith in the Lord, so they're Christians. They talk about that, they insert that into their content and that kind of stuff, not in a way that's really pushy or anything like that, but then at a way that's encouraging people to be quality contributors to the social media landscape. Pro Church Tools, I mentioned them a while back. They're really great because they are a business, like they're a business that supports churches through their products like Nucleus, and we're just giving them like all kinds of free promo right now, I guess, and Think Media too as well. But they do it well because they actually provide people something of value in addition to the ask. The ask is that, hey, go buy my product, go do this, go do that. Like even your channel, like you spend time doing reviews on products. Like I don't have to go buy that because you bought it, and you can tell me whether or not I should buy it, or you could tell me what the pros and cons are. I mean, I love watching reviews on like fancy like espresso machines that I probably never buy, but it's like I'm like that's
but when I have that, all of that money,
the tens and dozens of thousands of dollars that it requires to buy that espresso machine, I probably still wouldn't buy it because that's really expensive. But the idea that I could watch someone unbox it and go, yes, it does reach 90 degrees Celsius or whatever,
exactly.
It's like really important. I'm like, yes, I know what that means. Like,
or stuff like wireless stuff. People are looking to spend their money wisely. And we can help with that. So something as removed from the gospel is like, hey, this wireless pack goes here, or this pedal. Hey, welcome to Hey Worship. This pedal will help you. Like I love the Line 6 stuff. I talk about it all the time because it's helped me. And it can help a lot of people, and it has.
And it can provide value for people beyond entertainment. And that's like what I approach Pro Church Tools, you Think Media. A lot of these guys do this where they provide valuable content beyond just how to entertain people.
I was thinking of another person who does it well.
Oh my gosh.
Graham Cochran, and he has a different kind of approach. But this book, it was actually like up in the photo. In like one of my recent videos, it was like, it looked like I was trying to put it there on purpose. And I had just said it on the thing. But definitely get this book because he's a believer. And he has 2 different businesses. And does it well. And he's a businessman. And he he does it to like, what's he say? He's like to live and give.
To live and give more, and then like
that's
to
the second half.
Spend more time with your family, like work less, like yeah. And so like he has a vision behind what he's trying to do. He's trying to help creators, business owners, entrepreneurs, like get to a place where they can be financially stable and work less. Not this hustle culture that's like, hey, work 80 hours a week and never see your family. Like he's like, I want to teach you how to do a lot of this stuff automated. Again, we're giving like a ton of people like free press, so like this isn't sponsored yet. I'm sure, but you should definitely, Graham Cochran, sponsor my friend here.
That'd be cool.
You should absolutely do that.
I'm on Kajabi too, and I used your code.
What?
Oh, shit. The course is coming out soon.
wait, I'm sorry, what did you just say?
My course is coming out soon. I know. I mean, I edited it. I don't know how soon. I gotta edit it again. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. So we have permission. We've seen some good people. Oh, another person, Corey Asbury. You mentioned
Asbury. Hilarious. I
don't follow him a lot, but I remember when I have, I was like, dude, this dude is brilliant. Because he's like amazing music. You know, heart for God. And then when he's on social media, I feel like I just get to see him. Be him.
BTS.
So we're talking about how do we get on camera now? Okay, I know I need to be on social media, but I hate it. I love to consume it, but I turn on the camera and I'm like, Jimmy, when he's starting his YouTube channel, what do we do? Do you have tips? I mean, let's get real granular.
So, I mean, you know, you got to think about who are you, right? Like, I mean, are you a business owner? Are you a creative? Are you, you know, this music artist? Are you just Joe Blow who's like thinking about starting a podcast on, you know, theology or something like that? Well, it's like, well, at any level, you're going to have like, what is your natural voice? Like, who are you kind of when the camera turns off? Like we were just talking about this a minute ago. Like, you know, I'm not a very funny guy in front of the camera. Like I tend to be very, not necessarily super serious, but like I'm more like direct with my communication and all this kind of stuff. And so my social media voice sort of reflects that. Like I'm very like methodical and like listicles type of stuff, like where it's like, hey, you should do this in this order, in this
and it's great. And Instagram knew I must have wanted to follow you because that's how we made the connection.
On Instagram,
actually, I just like I wasn't following you. Instagram was like, you probably like this, I guess. And I was like, who's this dude? And I listened to it. And it was, I don't even remember which one it was, but I was like, this is awesome. This guy, I need to have him on the channel. And you've been on here twice.
I'll just say something like, you know, here's 3 tips for you to do whatever. And anyway, so my voice is very like that. You were talking about how like you like to be kind of funny and humorous and that kind of stuff. And you're a funny guy in real life too as well.
The real world.
The real world. Real world. What is it, like 38 now or something like that? Anyways. And so so typically like find whatever feels most natural to you. And then what we were talking about this a minute ago, like sort of notch up that voice, like whatever like degree of energy you normally bring to a conversation, you're gonna have to notch that up a little bit, but not to the point where you're gonna have to feel goofy about yourself or whatever. But then you were asking like, what do I even say? Like, how do I even get there? Well, it's like find your lane. Like if you're an artist, then what are you passionate about in your art? Like what inspires you? Like what inspires you to, how would you help somebody else in your shoes? Like what could you tell your person like 10 years ago or whatever? Graham actually in his book, you know, How to Get Paid for What You Know, again, not a sponsor, but you probably could get an affiliate or something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think it's on Amazon. I should probably link this book and this video.
It's linked in the affiliate probably. There you go. Check it, you know. But he talks about content buckets and he talks about this idea of like you can really take like 15. I actually tell people to do this. Like go to your like favorite park or like, you know, maybe even your front porch or something like that and take like a 15-minute timer and take your general like topic. Like what are you? You're a worship artist. Okay, worship's your general topic. Okay, well now break it up into subcategories. Like force yourself to write 4 topics on worship. I'm going to pick on worship because I can just do that in my sleep, right? So it's like devotional worship to the Lord, leading worship with other people, general leadership practices, song selection and logistics. You know, like that's 4 topics that you can create videos off of. Well, what about devotion to the Lord? Well, like, hey, what am I reading in Scripture right now? How do I read through the Psalms effectively? How do I do expositional like study of the Bible? Like, how do I even write music? You know, how do I take my prayers and set them to music, and that becomes like source material for songs I'm going to write. You know, different things like that. You know, and then like general leadership for other people. You know, it's conflict resolution and all these types of things. Well, suddenly you can have 50 videos on doing that for 15 minutes. All of a sudden you have 50 video topic ideas, and I guarantee you, if it's something you're passionate about, if I give you a topic, you're probably going to be able to talk my ear off. You know, if I say, hey, Jimmy, tell me about, you know, guitar pedals.
Right.
You know, tell me about, you know, you getting into seminary for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, tell me about, you know, leading worship the first time. You know, and
Yeah.
like, you could probably give me 30 minutes worth of like conversation. Like,
lessons you learned or tips or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Like we just started talking about social media, and all of a sudden, you know, we're 15, 20 minutes into this thing, and we have, you know, I say content, but it's a value for people. And so now break that out over Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever. You got 1 to 2 minute videos, which goes by like that, by the way. And you can break that out into daily posts relatively easy. So there's not that excuse of like, I don't know what to say or anything like that. You can overcome that pretty quickly simply by taking a moment and brainstorming about your general idea. Maybe you're a business owner, and maybe you make, maybe you sell water. Like you sell like high-end water, alkaline, whatever, pH, the best water or infused water.
Holy Spirit water.
Wow.
Wait, hold on. That's
straight from the Jordan. You probably shouldn't drink it, actually, now that I say that. But, you know, whatever it is, it's like, okay, well, what about your thing? Well, you know, we import this water. It's super awesome. Like, you're a business owner. It's like, well, no one wants to hear me talk about water.
Right.
Maybe they do, because if you're excited about it, then other people will be excited about it. Again, I watched somebody unbox an espresso machine and, like, talk about how great it was. I understand nothing of what they're saying.
Right.
I've watched chefs, like, cook all these meals that I'll never cook in my life, you know. But I'm just watching them do it. I watched something the other day of, like, somebody assembling something. Like, you know, and so if they're passionate about it, you're going to be passionate about it.
Yeah, you get sucked into it.
Yeah. And so, you know, just start thinking of things like what is in your niche, and then start developing subcategories. And then of that, you can bust out like 50 video titles.
Yeah.
Just like that. And here's another tip. Convert those into like longer form, you know, combine 2 or 3 of them, and now you have longer form videos too as well.
Yeah.
Because a 1 minute video could quickly become a 5 minute video if you add maybe another topic.
Yeah.
So
put them on YouTube, search
engine. Yeah. So
let's pause.
Yes. Okay, what did we just say?
What did we just say? We just reset the cameras because, you know, Canon.
Yeah. So that excuse of saying, like, I don't have something to say, it's an excuse we tell ourselves. It's an excuse that is real to some people because, like you said, you froze. You had every intention of talking in front of that camera. So let's say you get your content ideas out of the way. Like, you have 10, 15 videos you can record. So that takes care of the next couple of weeks for you. Like, you got topics. You can even take time and write. A minute-long video is probably 2 paragraphs maximum, you know, depending on how fast you talk. So you got 2 paragraphs on each of these subtopics, which I think everyone probably could do.
Right.
You know, so you got your content. Now you turn on the camera, and like what you were saying, like you froze.
Yeah.
Like how did you overcome that? Like how did you overcome just freezing?
I just kept going.
Yeah.
I just kept doing it. Actually, you know what it was? I was in like I tried to set up a studio and I was doing all the tips that I knew and I was trying to.
You got the lighting.
I was trying to talk and I even feel uncomfortable in this situation because this is not normally how I do stuff.
Sure.
And when I feel like this, so I did the first video I ever had on the channel is I just went and vlogged. I took the camera out and that feels weird too being in public with a DSLR camera.
Yeah.
But that's what it took for me to like just just like, okay, I'm just here. Let me tell you what I got to say as if you're just here with me.
Yeah.
And maybe like if we're talking Instagram and you're on your phone, maybe it's already that easy. But you know, I was set up like this and there was a light and I was like, oh no, you know, it just made me panic and I had to like just be me. Like, absolutely. And I had to picture, this is another one. I had to picture one person. What would I tell them? I do have something to say. That's why I started this in the first place.
Yeah.
What do I want to say? What like if we're talking about creators, like you're a creator. You've created things. God has put it in you and you have something. So don't forget that. That's what you're trying to communicate and convey.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think you hit something like really early on in that, like you were saying, after you did it a couple times, or at first you just kept doing it over and over again, and that has obviously increased your skill in talking to a camera. This is something that repetition really comes in handy. Like repetition will bring you to that place of feeling comfortable because when you push past like the everything in your mind and your your personality or whatever that says no, this is too vulnerable, this is too real, this is too in my space, this is too blah 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 blah. if you push past that long enough, it'll reset your brain into thinking like, this is normal for me now. Like, so whenever I first started recording videos, like daily videos for Instagram and things like that, it was a little awkward. I had to force myself to do it. I'm a perfectionist by nature, so I had to overcome that perfectionism. I had to just say, well, it's good enough, and that really grains me on like a deep personal psychological level.
Yeah.
But I had to realize like people are just going to see this for a moment and then move on.
Right.
One of the things that really helped me was just knowing that like people aren't really going to care that much about like, you know, if I goof off or I do something weird or like I misspeak or something like that, because they're honestly going to probably move on to the next video and forget. They'll retain the general thought and the big idea, but they won't remember the details.
Right.
And they won't remember me, you know, looking funny at the camera.
You just said like messing up or something.
Yeah.
I started leaving those into my videos because I was a perfectionist too. I was like, oh, I got to say that whole thing again. And I still battle that, but sometimes I'm like, I just messed up. Let me just, you know, or I'll just,
let's just reset.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm a person.
Yeah.
And so you were talking
Please
to me.
forgive me for being human.
Yeah. You were talking about this, like people want to see. So what do people want to see? Okay, so we have maybe a product. We want them to listen to our song. We want them to buy something. But you were talking last night even about like there's a percentage. We still need to give them value. So how do we do that? What
So that was kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, like kind of need to define what your voice is. Like for me it was very apparent early on, like what would come naturally out of me was like more of an inspirational type of language. So it was like, hey, let me encourage you with something that I read in scripture the other day, or here's like some tricks that I use like when I'm engaging in my quiet time with the Lord, or here's when I go to write music, this is what I do. Like this is some general ideas and like some things that I talk about. But what really helped me was knowing like my voice is inspirational. And some people, their voice can be a lot of different things. And that's good. Like their personality fits that. And so what people want from different platforms or different channels and things like that is usually what you're providing them. Like if you're providing them entertainment, like maybe you're like Corey Asbury and you can like hop on there and you can be in some antique shop and you can just like be pointing at like creepy looking dolls and be like, this is weird, you know, like that. People are drawn to that. They get entertainment value out of that. Maybe you're, you know, a worship leader and you're just wanting some how-to videos. YouTube is great for how-to videos. Like how do I program my HX Stomp? How do I build a preset? How do I, when I'm ready to give up, go buy that preset, you know? Right. And so like, you know,
I should hire you.
Yeah. Well, so it's like all this stuff is like, you know, the idea of, you know, people come to different channels for different reasons and they stay for the consistent language and message and kind of philosophy. But, you know, ultimately it's like, you know, what are people looking for? They're looking for you. Yeah. Like they're looking for whoever you are and what your voice is, because we live in an age and an era where billions of people are interacting with each other on social media. If there's 0.01% of that billion people who are interested in what you're interested in and who you are as a person, you're going to be a multi-billionaire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like by attention alone. So there are enough of a subset of people who will be interested in whatever you're doing. Yeah. You know, whether that's gardening or vlogging or, you know, jogging and video. I think, you know, whatever that is. Like, and so, you know, there's enough people who are interested in whatever your content is, to where you will, if you do it long enough and you do it consistent enough and you grow in quality and you grow in skill and you grow in comfortableness of all the things, comfortableness, like, you know, be transparent that you just said a word that doesn't make sense, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's right.
But, you know, you start doing this more and more and you develop like the skill sets of just being able to talk in front of a camera or whatever. Yeah. People pay attention to you because, like I said, I watch stuff on YouTube all the time, or I watch stuff on social media all the time that I'm like not really interested in real life. Right. But I will give it attention on social media and I will interact with it on social media.
Yeah. I think one of the things that it motivates me. It's motivating me right now, and I'm going to say this, like, people, you said this earlier, people want behind the scenes stuff. They want to know who you are. That's not this polished thing. They just want to know. And I feel that a lot of times, like if I come across some new music, whatever it is. I've been listening to a band called The Midnight. It's not worship, but it's like synthwave 80s cool stuff. It's awesome. I love it.
I'm all for synthwave.
It's really good. Immediately I'm like, I love the music. I wonder who they are. Yeah. So like I go to Instagram. Yes. And so like when I go to Instagram, whatever it is, even if it's a person, I'm like, if there's like, and this is bad because I don't have one right now, but if I want to know something, there's posts, but if there's not like a story, I'm like turned off a little bit. Because I'm like, man, I don't, or like, I'm sure they just didn't post them, but I want to see who they are when it's just a story.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see. And that helps motivate me to put a story, which maybe in this video we should make me a story.
You should make a story.
We should make a story.
Well, while we're filming, you could even make a story.
I think we should.
Yeah. And so, like, even that idea of, like, people do want to see behind the scenes, that's like I was getting out earlier, like, this A-list celebrities, like, they're so popular on social and all this kind of stuff because... Like, I was watching this video of, like, Justin Bieber confronting people, like, at his house.
Okay.
And, like, he's like, guys, this is my house. Like, you can't be here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, but we just wanted a picture with you. He goes, I get it, but this is my house.
This is my house. You got to get out.
You need to, like, get out here. And they're like, but, like, they just want to know where he lives.
Yeah.
And, like, what he's doing at, 8:30 p.m. like after he ate dinner, like what shows are you watching? Like, and people are just curious about that kind of stuff, like it's just the kind of human curiosity. And so the BTS type of style behind the scenes, in case you didn't get that, but
okay,
not the Korean band. We're always talking about the Korean band.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's typically what I'm referring to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing the dances and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, for all our K-pop fans out there. So, the BTS style stuff just brings people into your world. Now, the secret sauce of that is that it's still curated, right? Like you still had to choose to post it. You have to. Sometimes you may have multiple versions of that or whatever that you delete. Oh well, there's my dirty sock hanging on like the whatever, or like my whatever, or like hanging out wherever it doesn't need to be in frame or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it is curated to some degree.
Yeah.
But the idea that people want to know like what Justin Bieber is doing at home, what kind of car does he drive, like what kind of sports drink does he drink, that's why like these advertisers, they don't pay just for great commercials, they pay for celebrity endorsements, like because people just want to know what you're doing,
right?
And so Instagram, social media, I mean we all do this, we're sort of like, what is this person up to on a daily basis, like what's their life like? And the thing that I found about this that's sort of like, not to hyper spiritualize it or whatever, but it's like it's really kind of like made me question, like, is my daily life something that I would be proud of people watching? Like, I'm not talking about the Truman Show, but I'm talking about like, if I was just going about my daily life, is it inspirational to people? Again, my voice is more inspirational on social media. Some people, it's comedy. It's like, hey, I'm at Planet Fitness, and let me show you all the things that people are doing at Planet Fitness. No shade on Planet Fitness. They're definitely not going to sponsor you now. I'm sorry.
I don't think we were even close.
So it's like, what am I doing in life? Like, is it inspiring other people? So could my daily life, could I just put a phone in front of me? And and back to that original thing of like, well, don't be narcissistic, like no one wants to see your daily life. It's like, but they actually do. Like they want to see, like you were saying, like that band you were looking at, like you just wanted to see like what they were up to, like what's their studio life like how do they record their songs, like what is their day-to-day like, what they're on tour right now, they're in Charlotte, like that's cool, like
they
whatever.
came to Raleigh and I didn't go.
Well, and now you're like, oh well, I didn't know they come this way, so now I'll be on the lookout for them or whatever. And like it's FOMO, fear of missing out with them again, and anyways, I think there's some beauty in that, because you're actually inviting people into a more personal and vulnerable space. But the more vulnerable you get, I found this out, the more vulnerable you get, the more people are receptive to what you're saying and doing. And so if you're vulnerable about your daily life, and I say that vulnerability is like you're actually displaying it,
right?
But then in the midst of your daily life, you're saying like, this is where I read my Bible every morning, like this is how I have my morning coffee. Like Graham will do this a lot in his podcast, Cochran. He'll say, this morning I was reading my Bible, I spent 2 hours in the morning, and I'm like, way to like weave in there, like,
without being, he was just being real. Like people know if you're being fake preachy, or weird, and he just does it so naturally.
This is what I'm doing. Like, and like other guys, like Think Media guys, are talking about like, when I was volunteering at my church, I learned how to do this. And I was like, way to like just mention the fact that like you're a person who volunteers at their church. Like I was listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and like they were talking about how like one of the examples was this one of these guys got to donate a bunch of money to his church after he passed away, whereas the other one like died with debt. It was this idea of like, one man was like generous towards it. Anyways, but it's like welcoming people into your life to display something worth following. And at its root, like that's a measure of discipleship. But that might not be a conversation people are ready to have. Like, hey, what if you're discipling people through your social media? Like, can you say that about what you're posting? Can you say that about what you're producing? Can you say that about how you're actually living your life? Is it worth following? Anyways, so
that's awesome.
That's my thought process when it comes to social media, especially behind the scenes stuff. Because I, like you, I want to see, what are people doing?
Yeah.
Especially Christian artists.
Yeah.
Like when I see a new Christian artist, like I'm like, what is their social media like?
Right.
Like that's the first question I have. I'm like, who are they? Like, are they married? How's their marriage? How's their relationship with their kids? If they have kids, like what are they posting about?
And it makes you enjoy their art more. For me, I appreciate it more because I feel like I'm a part of their story now. Like if I know someone's story, it helps me. And my wife's like that. Especially, I think maybe women are more relationship driven or can be. To generalize there, but I've heard people say men are more interested in things.
I've heard of that.
Anyways, I've heard that. That can be true. Don't say a comment.
I don't say that.
Anyways, all women are like this. I am saying that. But when you like, if there's something that I know my wife might not be interested in, but I'm interested and I want her to join me, she'll do like, okay, tell me a story about it. Like, who are these people? Like Super Bowl.
Yes.
She wants to get connected to like, okay, tell me the quarterback. Okay, well, who's he married to?
Is he on Stafford? He was stuck in Detroit.
Yes. If I tell her the story, and then I'm that way, I'm like, I'm in the story. I want this guy to win. You know, that kind of thing.
The underdog.
Same thing with music, and like, I'm a fan of that person when I see that they're normal. Now when they're on stage, I'm more loved because there's a lot of good content out there, but when you make that connection and you allow people to make that connection with you, it just amplifies the support and the realness that you are to that person. It has a lot more effect, I think.
Yeah, and that sort of like demolishes the argument of like fame, right? Because like we think of fame and famousness and like this glamorous like lifestyles of the rich and famous type of thing as like this perfect, picturesque, like real curated, like I'm on a boat, I'm on a yacht, like I'm really fancy all the time, like my tie's always perfect. And it's like, if I do act that way on camera or I do present that all the time, then why am I doing that? Because I want it to be perfect and I want people to like it or whatever. But if I'm a little bit more laid back or I'm doing BTS stuff or I'm just being more conversational, then it does invite people into the real life of my real life. Yeah. And I think people follow that better,
Yeah, for sure. Well, this was good. We should do a story real quick.
Yeah, let's do a story.
I mean, you want to be authentic, so you want to put on a filter.
Oh, wow.
Let's not.
Oh, no.
Let's not. Yeah. I don't know what these are. Who knows? I never use filters, but I started doing this one because it kind of has this like rustic vibe.
Oh my gosh.
We should do a story. So what I always do here is I go hands free. That way I can just hit the button and then I can just talk. Yeah. So there's a Instagram tip for you.
Ooh.
So let's say something.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I'm here with David Willis.
What's up?
We're actually recording a video right now.
Yeah.
And it's about this topic of being on social media and using it for creative purposes and letting people know who you are. Behind the scenes is the point we're on right now, and this is behind the scenes. You can't get any more behind the scenes than this. So
look, you have like a broom over there.
I did. There's a broom. Yeah, like look at the imperfection. Gosh. There's amps. It's all his trash. Anyways, hey, where can people find you?
Oh yeah.
On here.
Oh, on here?
This story's going live here in just a second.
You're on Instagram, right?
Yeah,
This is at David Willis CO.
Yeah.
You can find me there. And I have, here's like a real talk. You want to get like real super transparent? I usually post like a video like every day.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing that lately.
Yeah, you need to get on it.
It's like really, I'm sorry. So
okay, so we're one slide. It's almost up. You have to time it just right, like it's going to cut off.
Okay.
Well, all right. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
And then I always go, we can do this later, but I do my captions.
Yeah.
And half the time it says captions can't be found, and I'm like, what is going on? Does that happen to you?
Sometimes.
Anyways. Yeah. I'll post that in a minute after I do my captions. So this was helpful, I think.
I hope so. Like, I really think it is, because I think, most people, they don't even get started because they have a fear of what other people are going to think about them. Like, yes, they fear self-promotion, but really they feel coming across as slimy.
Yeah.
Or they feel coming across as like narcissistic. And so really that's how other people view you.
Yeah.
And so it's just
unless you're slimy, and don't be slimy.
Yeah, just don't be slimy.
Just don't
like,
be slimy.
Don't, like that's a t-shirt. Like, don't be slimy.
Hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag don't be slimy. Yeah. And so, don't do that for sure. But if you're not a normal slime, if you're not a slime ball, like normally, like just be yourself.
Just be your normal person, and then like you said, just up at 1% for the camera.
Yeah, just kind of get
people won't fall asleep.
Drink the Red Bull right before or whatever, and you have permission. You have permission to get out there online. You have permission to promote the things you're doing because, hey, newsflash, like if I have a friend in real life who's doing something cool, I kind of want to know about it.
Yeah.
Like when they don't tell me about it, like I'm like, oh man, you should tell me about it. Like I would have been at your concert. Like I would have been at this thing you're doing. Like if I had time, I would totally check it out. And there's almost no commitment to watching a social media video or doing whatever. You're gonna do it anyway. So just tell your friends about it. Like invite people into your world. Again, BTS, being a little bit transparent, do something you're passionate about.
And be you. Yeah, that's good. That's a good synopsis. I like it. Well, let's sign off. Thanks for watching it. Like the video.
Oh yeah, all the things. What is it? Like, subscribe, ring the bell, notifications.
Don't say smash. I never say smash the like button. It's just, some people do that, and that's fine. This is bonus content. Here's behind the scenes.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's some YouTube things I don't like.
Okay.
When people say, and maybe I'm weird. When they say, "What is up?" Isn't it? What's up?
What is up?
If now that I've said it to you, go watch videos. When they open up, they'll say, "What is up, YouTube? What is up?" And I feel like that's wrong. Because it's supposed to just be, "What's up?"
What's up?
Yeah, what's up? Or say, don't say that. But it seems like it's very formal. But like a lot of people say, "What is up?" Maybe it's not wrong. Maybe I'm weird, but it freaks me out.
Yeah, I mean,
don't do that.
What was kind of strange to me is how it smells like up dog in here whenever I first walked in.
What's up, dog?
What's up with you? Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. You kept saying
I thought it smelled like Henway.
What's Henway?
What's a Henway?
What's a Henway?
About 9 or 10 pounds.
Gotcha. Okay.
We gotta go. All right. We'll see y'all in the next video.
Yeah. Sweet.